And welcome back to Japan Game Junk, going a bit over some stuff that was found in the Hard-Off store. It was a Hard-Off / Hobby-Off store. It's the Aikawa store, but it's not. That's not an Aikawa city, of course. This is in how do I put this? In Kanagawa Prefecture. And literally, as I'm speaking, let me check here. I just want to see when it opened because I know it was very recent. Oh yes, it opened only on. Oh yeah, it actually is an Aikawa. I was confused because there is not Aikawa city. It's an Aikawa town of Kanagawa, a very small town, but right in between some major cities. It opened only on the 27th of September, and this is as it was visited, still smelling very clean on the 20th of October. So less than a month after it opened, and it had quite a few rarities I was happy to see and to document for you. First of all, quite a few in the way of Game Boys there, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Pocket. The colors were all 5,000 yen of different colors, and the pockets were 4,000 yen, except one, which is the Hello Kitty version, for 8,000 yen. They also had the stuffed animal Yoshi Pink amiibo figure, which is a bit cheaper than usual. About 3,000 yen. Usually I've seen it more expensive than that. They had an original Xbox One with the Kinect sensor for 15,000 yen. As the sensor itself usually goes for between 7 and 10,000 yen. That's a pretty good deal if you wanted to have an original Xbox One. They had, I was tempted to get it just for the collection, but I did not, for 1,000 yen, Crash and Burn for the 3DO. Now this was released basically only as a pack-in game in the US as far as I know. Later it might have been released, I think, but it was not a pack-in game in Japan, and so you could buy it separately. Here it was 1,000 yen for the complete sealed-in package. It's beautiful, of course. It's beautiful history and truly 3DO history everyone should enjoy, but as I already have a copy and I didn't want a sealed copy just to have it, so this is in fact Japan Game Junk, not Japan Game Perfect Collection. I left it for someone else to find at a later date, maybe you. Next is something I think was really amazing, and thinking back I should have bought it. I was really dumb. I wasn't thinking about having it as a collectible as opposed to something I would actually use, but they have a weird, cheaply I think Taiwanese made Famicom clone unit, and it is shaped like a Nintendo 64 controller, and it has a light at the front, and inside the controller itself, just above where the Z button would be on the trigger button would be on the Nintendo 64 controller, there's a cartridge slot for a Famicom game. And so it has also attached composite output and the AC adapter. So basically, you plug the controller into the TV and the AC adapter. It controls with like the N64 controller, but it plays only Famicom games, even though it has the analog stick. I don't know what that's for really, but it also came with Duck Hunt, and that was the hint. The light at the front of the controller also works as a light gun. Now, it was marked as not untested, and they didn't, you'd have to have a CRT to play with anyway with the light gun, but looking back, I should have picked that up. Anyway, if you're in the area, you might want to get it before I'm back in the area sometime in the future, where I will buy it if it's still there. It was only 1,500 yen, again, marked as not working, but I don't know if that's just because the gun did not work because they don't have a CRT, or because the actual unit did not work. But either way, for a collector, it's a nice little item there. I should have bought it. One thing I'm not so sad I did not buy was, for 3,000 yen, a Beauty and the Beast Tiger electronic game. They had that, and that's what was there. Okay, they had many Famicom, original Famicom units that were working. 800 yen for ones that worked, but were like dirty. One had a kid's name written on it, one was yellowed, and two other looked very nice for 1,000 yen, but I have enough of those. Also had several Super Famicom units for 200 or 300 yen, depending on how they looked and how yellow they were. And these things last forever. I'm sure they would have worked. Something I did buy that I was very surprised to see was My Hero 1's Justice 2 for the Xbox One, completely sealed. It's the North American version. They had it for 500 yen. Maybe they thought that it didn't work in Japan. Maybe they thought it was only in English, but of course not. Xbox One games work internationally, and they in fact also are they automatically adjust themselves to the language of your system settings. So I took advantage of this. I didn't have this game, and now I do. Don't really like the animation, don't know the animation, and playing the game just to see what it's like for a few minutes. It's a weird, I guess, Power Stone-style action fighting game. Didn't really get into it, and the female characters were not... they didn't have very good physics to their femininity, if you know what I mean. So I put it back on the shelf. Maybe I'll play it again in the future, but for 500 yen, brand new, that was quite a find. They also had a number of things in their case that were expensive. Notably, Mark III games, Fist of the North Star, Fantasy Zone, 10,000 yen, though, for boxed. I mean, they looked kind of okay, not perfect, but that was a lot. The system itself they had for 20,000 yen, the not the Mark III, but actually the Master System Remake Japanese version was here as well for that price. And with that, that's what I saw here. It's actually a very, very interesting store. With gaming, it has some stuff, but it's more impressive with its general electronics. Like if you need a VHD player or a Laserdisc player, they had various states of disrepair and working ability for different prices. Lots of very, very interesting stuff in the music section as well, you know, the instruments and stuff. So I'd really recommend visiting this if you're ever in Aikawa town of Kanagawa. It's a fun place to see. I doubt anyone will ever go there unless you're in the area, as it were, but hey, maybe you are, so give it a shot. Thanks for listening, and goodbye.